With the 2026 NFL season just recently wrapping up with the conclusion of the Super Bowl, Seattle Seahawks beating the New England Patriots 29-13, it is officially draft season, everybody. The draft order has been fully set, as you see all 32 picks in their rightful places, pending any trades. And yeah, so we're going to do a mock draft, first of the season for me. So far, it's going to be my mock draft 1.0, post Super Bowl mock draft. So if you guys do enjoy this video, be sure to like and subscribe for more NFL and draft content. Just released a video going over Arvell Reese recently, and we'll have more prospect breakdowns just like that one coming up if you guys do enjoy that. So be sure to like and subscribe for that. And yeah, so first mock draft of the year. All picks are set in order. Super Bowl just concluded. So, right. So we're gonna be getting into this. Gonna be talking a lot about pending free agents for a lot of these teams, what they need, best player availables, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, so Raiders at number one. The pick is obvious. It has been for a while. It is going to be Fernando Mendoza. The Raiders, they need quarterback Geno Smith. They traded for him. He ended up just being a massive bust for them. That trade ended up being a really bad, really bad decision. I mean, they didn't really give up all that much, so it's really not that bad. But Geno Smith, I thought he was really good coming into the year. I thought he was a top 10 quarterback coming off of his last year with Seattle. He came in to a bad situation and made the situation even worse. Did not play well at all. Fully admit that I was wrong in my ranking on Geno Smith. But he was coming off a good year to a team where I thought they could be a dark horse to make some push for the playoffs. Maybe not make the playoffs, but be a decent team, and they just completely fell apart. And they end up with the number one pick here, and they draft Fernando Mendoza. I will probably have a prospect breakdown on Fernando Mendoza, so I'm not going to share all my thoughts with him here. I do think he is a weaker number one overall pick, at least one of the weaker ones we've had in a while. I do think Cam Ward was a better prospect than him last year, but I still would take him number one overall if I were the Raiders. You need a quarterback. He's got the work ethic. He's got the arm. He's got the accuracy, and he can be very good in the NFL. You have to put a better roster around him, and that starts in the draft and free agency. We'll see what they do, but could get ugly if they're as bad of a team as they were last year. But if they really improve, they could give Fernando Mendoza some good options and a decent team around him. He can really be the guy, I think. So Fernando Mendoza at number one of the Raiders, pretty obvious. And at number two, New York Jets, they need a lot. They also need quarterback. Their wide receiver core is bad outside of Garrett Wilson. They need defense corner, Aaron Glenn's first year, his defense was not very good at all. The culture right now is really bad, and it really seems like Aaron Glenn's fixing to get fired at some point mid-season next year. But obviously, can't predict the future, so maybe that doesn't happen. But anyways, it's the pick here is going to be Arvell Reese for me. Just take the best player in the draft at number two, in my opinion. There's not really a quarterback you could take here, or else you would go quarterback. I don't think Ty Simpson is worthy of being a number two overall pick, personally. But Arvell Reese, just did a video on him. If you want my full thoughts on him, go over, check out that video. Dude's incredible athlete. Can stand up lineman off the edge. He's a really good linebacker. He's an amazing run defender right now. I think eventually he makes that transition to full-time edge rusher, but he still needs to develop his pass rush arsenal right now. It's really not very good at the moment, but he has those flashes, and I think he can end up being a top 10 edge rusher in the NFL at some point. I mean, his athletic potential alone is just incredible. Combine that with his play strength, his smarts, his long arms, the intangibles and stuff you can't teach with Arvell Reese are incredible. He has super high potential, and I think he's well worth the number two pick. And he's, as of right now, he is my number one overall player in the draft. So at number three, the Cardinals also need quarterback. Also, will not be taking Ty Simpson here. Um, obviously, I don't think Ty Simpson is worth taking a pick this high. They need offensive line. They need defense. They need a lot of things. They fired Jonathan Gannon. They'll be bringing in Mike LaFleur, I believe, to be the head coach. Kyler Murray is still on the roster as of right now. I don't know how the relationship between him and the front office are right now after they basically benched him last year, and basically have all but told him that they are looking to go in another direction at quarterback. I don't know how much Kyler Murray is going to be willing to come back and play for a team that's basically already given up on him. So Kyler Murray could be part of a trade package this offseason. So that's something to look out for. But since you're not going to be taking a quarterback here, I don't think you really need to take receiver. You have Michael Wilson, Marvin Harrison, still developing, not looking too good right now, but I'm not saying he's going to be a bust. He's got to improve in year three. Let's just say that. But for whoever quarterback you bring in next, they're gonna have to get a better offensive line, and I think they're gonna take the best right tackle in the draft to play right tackle alongside Paris Johnson, who is a very good left tackle. Just needs to stay on the field. Francis Maui Noah, a lot of people talk of him as a guard. I think he could stick at tackle or move inside to guard, but if you need him to play tackle, I think he'd play tackle at a very high level. I love Francis Mauigoa as a prospect. I think he's going to be a rock solid tackle for the Arizona Cardinals. For foreseeable future, they take after the Jets. The Jets took um, Olu Fashanu and Armand Membu, and now they have those tackle spots shored up for the next 3-4 years at least. And so the Cardinals do the same. Paris Johnson along with Francis Maui Noah, and now whoever quarterback you bring in next has a very good tackle duo to protect him on his blind side and front side. So now getting to the Tennessee Titans, as an offensive guy, I really am tempted to go a receiver here because, I mean, Cam Ward's receivers were just not doing it last year. Calvin Ridley, not great. And then like Iomanner and Chimere DK were very, very good for rookies, but they were still rookies and weren't as consistent as you maybe needed them to be. So receiver here was a really big need for the Titans, but I just don't know if you take receiver here with also your needs on defense. At edge rusher, you just really don't really have anything. And sitting at the top of this board is a really good edge rusher, and his name is Ruben Bain. You could take David Bailey here. I'm a little lower on Bailey. I think Bain is a true blue chip prospect off the edge. I mean, the playoff run he had was just absolutely immaculate. He was just absolutely whooping the tackles on pretty much every single team. And as someone who was rooting for Indiana, I'm an Indiana native, he was dominating everybody on that offensive line the entire game. And I think he was a game wrecker at the college level. People talk about his short arms. He's not as explosive as some other edge rushers. I think he's still got the pass rush moves, the strength, just the pass rush ability to get to the passer. And not only that, he is an amazing run defender. He is a three down edge rusher. I mean, he defines three down edge rusher, in my opinion. He can get after the passer on third down and stop the run on first and second down. I love Ruben Bain. I think he's going to be a great pick for the Titans here. And as a Colts fan, I really would love them not to pick Ruben Bain, but they go Ruben Bain here, and they look to take receiver or offensive line later in the draft to help Cam Ward. And yeah, moving on to the New York Giants here. They also have a lot of needs. Wando Robinson is a free agent. Um, the offensive line is not very good. It looks like they have their franchise quarterback in Jackson Dart. They do need DB as well. Deontay Banks just not doing it. I am going to have them going with an offensive lineman here. Got to help protect Jackson Dart. And the only one who's been getting buzz as of going this high has been Spencer Fano. He will be the pick. This is not the best offensive line class in the world, truth be told. And I don't know if I would love Fano this high, in my opinion, but he has been getting a lot of buzz to be going this high. It seems like the NFL are really high on him and Maui Noah. So Spencer Fano is the pick to the Giants here at number 5. Help shore up that right tackle spot. You have Andrew Thomas at your left tackle spot as well. He needs to stay healthy, but there's been a common theme here. People these teams taking after the Jets, shoring up both tackle spots, making sure that those spots are, I mean, with the edge rushers that Jackson Dart will see, it's really good for him to have protection on both tackle spots. Spencer Fano can do that. He's a good run blocker as well. I don't think he's all there as a pass protector yet, but with NFL coaching, I'm sure he can get there. And he's got a very solid floor as a tackle prospect, and he can help out Cam Scatterboot in that run game as well. Browns at number 6, they need pretty much every position on the roster, except for a few positions on defense. Defense was great. They are losing Jim Schwartz, however, so they'll look to replace him at defensive coordinator. It's going to be a tough task, but losing Jim Schwartz is a big thing. You still have Myles Garrett, the new sack leader for single season sacks. 23, I believe he had. I mean, just an incredible year for Myles Garrett. You need quarterback, not a quarterback here. Pairing David Bailey with Myles Garrett would be pretty crazy. You need offensive line, but it seems like the two tackles that would go this high are off the board, and you really need wide receiver. Jerry Judy, not doing it. Cedric Tillman, he's a fine wide receiver 3 to 2. You really need a number 1 wide receiver. And Jordan Tyson has injury concerns. Makai Lemon, you got the size issues. I am going to take Carnell Tate here for the Cleveland Browns. Carnell Tate is an amazing wide receiver prospect, in my opinion. He's got the size, but not only does he just have the size, he has the fluidity. He's a good route runner, and he just does not drop the football. He is a sure-handed receiver. I believe he had 0 drops in 2025. Immaculate hands. He can go up and get it as well. Um, he's a contested catch demon. He's not like one of these Keon Coleman receivers. He can get open on these routes against single coverage. He's not as good as someone like maybe Jordan Tyson or Makai Lemon at it, but he's still a very solid route runner with really good hands, really reliable. Just need to get him a quarterback to throw him the football. There's a lot of spots on that offensive line that need to be upgraded. But at number 7, we have the Washington Commanders. Well, what a turnaround it was for them after an incredible 2024 season reaching the conference championship game. They came down to earth. Jaden Daniels could not stay healthy, um, and the team really just did not play as well in that 2024 year. Clearly, they had quite the disappointing year for Commanders fans. Um, but it just goes to show that the roster was not where it needed to be. So I am going to have them going David Bailey here. They really need to improve that pass rush like a lot. They still need, I think, some more positions on the offensive line to help Jaden Daniels, but that defense was not very good. David Bailey helping that pass rush out. He's going to be alongside Dorrance Armstrong, and that'll be a decent pass rushing group as well as a relatively decent interior of that defensive line. You need DBs, you need linebackers. Sonny Styles is certainly an option here for the Commanders, but it all starts in that defensive line and that pass rush. If you have a better pass rush, it can help out your DBs as well in coverage. And David Bailey can certainly get to that pass rusher quick. Again, I'm a little lower on Bailey, but he's been getting a lot of buzz as it's going this high, and I take him here at 7 to the Washington Commanders. Saints at pick 8. You need wide receiver here. Outside of Chris Olave, the receiving core is not looking very good. But again, Tyson injury concerns, like Lemon, a little bit of size concerns there. A lot of buzz about these receivers falling a little bit in this draft. And maybe that's true, maybe it's not. But right now, I'm gonna have those two falling a little bit. I've seen Carnell Tate fall as well. But you know what would help the pass game and maybe cut down on the need for receivers is a dominant run game. The Saints have a good offensive line, and yes, they need some pieces on defense, but I think the big goal for the Saints is making sure that they have that franchise quarterback and not putting too much on Tyler Shuck's plate in a really big year two for him and a big sophomore year, and not letting go to waste what was a really good rookie year for Tyler Shuck. He almost won Offensive Rookie of the Year after not really playing for half the year. And so I think getting a good run game would help take some weight off Tyler Shuck's shoulders, make it so he doesn't have to do everything. Alvin Kamara, franchise legend, love Alvin Kamara. He's getting too old. He hasn't been able to stay healthy these recent years, and he just hasn't been himself. Kendre Miller showed some promise, but I don't think he's a number one back. But you know who is a number one back is Jeremiah Love. You're not going to find Jeremiah Love down the board in this draft. He is a true blue chip running back prospect. I think he's a better prospect than Ashton Genty last year, and I think it would be great help to Tyler Shuck in that uh, offense next year, commanded by him in his sophomore year. If they can be able to take some weight off his shoulders, and unlike his rookie year, he wouldn't have to throw every single play to receivers who aren't very good. And I think there is receiving talent down the board that they can go and get. Malachi Fields, Chris Brazzell, some of these guys, Jeremy Bernard, can be good players down the board for the Saints. Um, so yeah, Jeremiah Love is the pick at pick 8. He's one of the best players in this entire draft class, and the Saints are lucky to have him. And I think he can help that team a lot, and he should be a pretty good player for them. And now the Chiefs at pick 9. This is a pick I really struggled with. They have a lot of pending free agents. Leo Chenal. They have Brian Cook is a pending free agent. Jalen Watson. They have needs at really a lot of defensive positions, at corner, at safety, at linebacker, at defensive line, pretty much at every single position. At least one spot is open to be replaced. We'll see what they do in free agency and who they re-sign, but I struggled a lot with this pick. It was between Caleb Downs, Sonny Styles, Jermod McCoy was an option for me here. Peter Woods, even receiver was even an option. I toyed with Jordan Tyson here. Edge rusher. I mean, Keldrick Falk was a thought here for me for a little bit, but I eventually settled down at just taking one of the best players in the draft, Caleb Downs. Take him. He can be your new nickel corner. And you already have a player like him and Jaden Hicks on the roster, but I mean, come on. Caleb Downs is a better player than Jaden Hicks, and he instantly becomes one of the best safeties in the league. Plug and play starter at that slot corner position. He can come down, he can hit really well. I mean, the staple of these Steve Spagnuolo defenses is they're very physical. They're very physical. They're hard hitters, and Caleb Downs is certainly one of those players. Super high floor player. He can cover well. He may not be the best deep safety in the world, but he's certainly going to be one of the best box safeties in the league. He's going to be a Derwin James-esque player, and I think Derwin James would be a great value at number 9 overall in the draft. So Caleb Downs there to the Kansas City Chiefs. And now, speaking of needing defense, here come the Cincinnati Bengals, and yeah, I'm going to give them one of the best players in the entire draft, and it's going to be Sonny Styles. They had a historically bad linebacker duo in 2025. I mean, they threw out two rookie linebackers who both were not ready to start. I like Demetrius Knight. He did not play very well. Barrett Carter especially played pretty terribly. Um, I think Demetrius Knight, if you paired him alongside a good linebacker one, he could have been a solid second linebacker. But both of those guys next to each other, I mean, it was a disaster. Trey Hendrickson is a free agent. They need defensive line. I just don't know if there's not an edge rusher I would really take here. Um, I mean, Keldrick Folk, maybe I would think about it. I do like Keldrick Folk probably a lot more than most, but at number 10, and he's just not the kind of player the Bengals need right now. They took Shamar Stewart last year. Keldrick Folk's kind of the similar mold of player. I do think he is a better player than Shamar Stewart. He's really just not the player the Bengals need right now. I mean, Peter Woods is here. I'm a little lower on Peter Woods. I would not take him in the top 10, me personally. And Sonny Styles is here. He's a blue chip linebacker prospect, man. This guy hits hard. He's smart. He finds the ball. He's a fantastic tackler, two missed tackles on the year, both, I believe, coming in his final game. Um, sure tackler. He's a good coverage linebacker. That's really his only weaker spot, and it's really not a weak point. He's a good coverage player. It's just, can he run with these tight ends and wide receivers all the way down the field? Maybe not, but he is a really good athlete. So who's to saying he can't? Sonny Styles is going to be one of the best linebackers in the league. I guarantee it. He's an athletic freak as well, alongside his teammate Arvell Reese. And I think this is a very good pick for the Cincinnati Bengals at 10. And now the Miami Dolphins, a very bad year for them. They need quarterback. It looks like Tua is officially going to be out the door. They need wide receiver. It looks like Tyreek Hill also is going to be out the door. They need offensive line, defensive back. They need a lot of things. They took defensive line last year. Kenneth Grant showed a little more promise at the end of the year, which I like seeing. Really want him to succeed in the NFL. He started off not so great, but he's been improving. So we'll see what they want to prioritize here. I don't think Ty Simpson is going to be the pick here. I toyed with receiver here as well, Tyson Lemon. But I'm just gonna go best corner available. It's their corner room. It's really bad. And Jermon McCoy is the best corner in this draft. Now, he did not play a single down in 2025. Slightly concerning with a torn ACL, I believe, at the end of his 2024 campaign. But that 2024 tape, man, it was good. Mansoor Delane has been getting a lot of buzz as well. Jerron McCoy's 2024 tape is better, a lot better than Mansoor Delane's 2025 tape. I mean, the stop-start ability with McCoy in press man coverage is incredible. He's a good zone defender. He's an athletic freak. I mean, he's super fast. We'll see how his planting ability is after the torn ACL, but it seems he's had at least half a year to fully recover from that torn ACL. Apparently, he could have played, and he just decided not to. Whatever the case, Javon McCoy, really good corner prospect. It's just he hasn't played in a year, so it's how do you value that 2024 tape coming off of that injury? We'll see, but Jermon McCoy should be a very good pick for the Dolphins here. They upgrade their corner room, and Dallas. Speaking of upgrading their corner room, they are also going to upgrade. Mansoor Delane, looking like maybe you kick Deron Bland into the slot. Deron Bland, has not been as good as he was that one year recently. He's also been hurt. And then alongside, you got Savon Ravel. Other than that, your corner room is not looking very good. You got Kalen Carson. I mean, he's fine as a backup, but I don't think he's really a starter. Um, you need edge rusher. Again, I don't know if there's an edge you would really take here. Honestly, me personally, I would be fine with Keldrick Falk, but I think Mansoor Delane has been getting a lot more buzz to be going this high. So I'll take him here to the Dallas Cowboys. They upgrade that secondary on that really bad defense last year, and just a really bad secondary it was. Um, Hopefully you'll have a better defensive coordinator than Matt Eberflus, but we'll see how it is. Mansoor Delane should be a very good pick here. And now the Rams, who I struggled with again here, like the Kansas City Chiefs. This is a luxury pick for the Rams here. 13th overall pick after getting eliminated in the conference championship. They made that great trade with the Atlanta Falcons last year to for the Falcons to move up to get James Pierce. No comment on that situation. I think it's a little outside of my realm, but from a pure football perspective, I mean the Rams, you could not be happier with how that trade worked out. Luxury pick here. I went a lot of different directions here. They need corner. Thankfully for the Rams, both the good corners went off the board right in front of them. Great. Avion Terrell is here. He's being in first round buzz. But I would not take him this high personally. So I went a lot of different directions. Defensive line, linebacker they could use, but the Rams historically have not taken linebacker this high. Um, I mean, I looked at all the corners. Right tackle could be a position of need. I don't know if there's a right tackle I would take this high. And also, Warren McClendon looked like a relatively solid tackle. So I think he could deserve another year. So, I mean, luxury pick being a luxury pick, take the luxury pick of all luxury picks. And I'm going to go Jordan Tyson at wide receiver here for the Rams. You have Puka Nacua. I mean, one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, a top five wide receiver in the league for sure. You have Devontae Adams, but the issue is he's not getting any younger. And I believe he has 1 or 2 years left on his contract. He's old. He caught a lot of touchdowns this year, yes, but he's not the route runner he used to be. And outside of him, Tutu Atwell is a free agent. Uh, I know you have a lot of free agents at corner, but again, there's not a corner I would take this high right now. Tutu Atwell's a free agent, and outside, and once you're done with Devontae Adams, I mean, outside of that, you have Kanate Mumfield and Jordan Whittington, and that's just not a receiving core I would throw out with Matthew Stafford going into his potential final year. We know he's coming back for at least one more year, but we have no idea how long. Out- Outside of that, I mean, he's the reigning MVP. I think you get him another receiver, and at least for this year, you can make a push to the Super Bowl yet again with a receiving core with Puka Nacua, Jordan Tyson, Devontae Adams, and I mean, Matthew Stafford is going to be happy as can be for sure. What a receiving core for him, and yeah, a luxury pick for the Rams, and what a pick it is. The Ravens at 14, I spent about 20 seconds on this pick. Uh, this pick is going to be Vega Ioane, the guard out of Penn State. He is, as of right now, my highest graded offensive lineman in this class. I love Vega Ioane. Super solid at all facets. You really just have to get Daniel Falele out of the starting lineup. I mean, he was just getting killed week in and week out. I have toyed with Makai Lemon in the past in this spot. Um, Peter Woods is definitely an option. You need pass rush. I don't know if there's a pass rusher I would take here. Maybe Cassius Howell is an option. Certainly Makai Lemon. But, I mean, you have your quarterback in Lamar Jackson, and yeah, he can run, but do you really want him running for his life every play? No. And so that's why you got to get Daniel Falele out of this spot, in the starting lineup. Vega Ioane is a very, very solid prospect. I love Vega Ioane. He is going to be rock solid next to, hopefully, Tyler Linderbaum for the foreseeable future. And now the Bucks at 15. Talk about needing pass rusher. They need pass rusher, and this has been a very, very common pick for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It is going to be Cassius Howell here. Me personally, I'm not really all there in the mid first round Cassius Howell hype. This is a weaker draft class, so I would be okay with Cassius Howell kind of going back at the back end of the first. 15 for me is a little high, but he's been getting a lot of buzz at this spot. Daniel Jeremiah has the Cassius Howell pick in the spot. And I mean, he fits the scheme, 3-4 scheme. He'd be rushing off the edge, he'd be a pure pass rusher off the edge. And they need pass rush, and he could get it for them. They need some other needs, but I think pass rush is their biggest one right now. And now the Jets, this is where Makai Lemon will finally come off the board. I'm a massive Makai Lemon fan. I love him. His hands are, I mean, as strong as they could be. His size is not great, and I don't think, I mean, he's not the fastest player in the world, but he is a, I mean, he's a football player, man. He gets open, he catches the ball. He is a football player, and you see the type of a receiver that is destroying the league right now. JSN, Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's another one of those kinds of receivers who just make plays. They get the dirty work done. They make plays for you. He's going to be a super solid option for whatever quarterback you bring in. Certainly hope it's not Brady Cook again. That was bad. But Makai Lemon, you pair him with Garrett Wilson. You also have Adonai Mitchell and John Mechie. And really, this receiving core is not that bad after before the comment Makai Lemon pick, looking pretty rough. Um, so long as Garrett Wilson stays healthy, this receiving core could actually be really good. Seeing how Adonai Mitchell develops. But yeah, Makai Lemon is the pick there. The receiving core for the Jets looking up with that one for whoever quarterback they bring in. And now the Detroit Lions. They uh, they need offensive line. Their strength over the past years has been offensive line, and it's kind of fallen off. Last year, the offensive line was not great, and as well toyed with Keldrick Falk here. I looked at defensive back. I looked at a lot of other positions, and eventually it just all came back to offensive line. Emmanuel Pregnon could be a pick here. I like Pregnon. I like Besantis a lot as well, but I'm just going to go Caden Proctor, not to play tackle, but to play guard. I do not think Caden Proctor is a tackle at the NFL level. I just don't. I'm going to be completely honest. I really don't. He just does not have the foot speed to get out to counter these speed rushes. I mean, he just gets burned off the edge. Sometimes he doesn't even get a hand on these edge rushers who just absolutely torch him. But he's got a strong core. He is a big guy. He's a big guard for sure. Maybe a little too big, but he's going to be solid up front. I do think Caden Proctor is worthy of a first round pick at guard. I do not think he is even close to being a first round pick at tackle. But at guard, I do like him. He can come in there. You can either replace Christian Mahogany or you can put him at Ratledge's spot and move Ratledge to center and Glasgow to guard. Whatever you want to do, it seems like Tate Ratledge might be moving to center, Glasgow to guard, and then Proctor to guard. But we'll see. And the Vikings at pick 18, another pick I did struggle with a little bit. Avion Terrell here. I don't know about Avion Terrell this high. Um, but I'm just gonna have them go best player available. Peter Woods. I believe Chris Redman is a free agent. I'm not sure, but he enjoyed a nice breakout year. Um, and you do need help on that defensive line. And yes, you need help in the secondary. I don't know about any of the DBs this high. Colton Hood's been getting some buzz. I'm not super high on Colton Hood. Avion Terrell, I think, is more of a second rounder or a back end of the first guy. Um, Peter Woods, a lot of potential there. He had a great 2024, a little down 2025, but he's got all the tools you need to be a top 10 defensive tackle in the NFL. I'm not all the way there yet with Peter Woods, and there has been a lot of talk about him being a polarizing prospect around the league. And he falls here to 18. He could be a top 10 pick. He could be a barely a top 30 pick. We'll see. Peter Woods at 18 to the Vikings. They have a lot of needs. I think they just go best player available here with Peter Woods and help that defensive line out. And now the Carolina Panthers at pick 19. They have a lot of needs. There's been some talks about receiver. I don't think any of the top three receivers didn't get down here. I don't think they take Denzel Boston or Concepcion here. Um, they need help along the defensive line. They really do. They need edge rusher. Well, maybe not. You have Scorton, Uman Mielen going into his second year. Is more of just a rotational pass rusher, I think. So Keldrick Falk could be an option here. But I'm going to go with Caleb Banks. I love Caleb Banks. He is my number one defensive tackle in this class. He goes one pick after Peter Woods. The Panthers need defensive line. Their defense was actually pretty good last year. The secondary is looking really nice. Horn, Mike Jackson, Chow Smith Wade, all players who played well. Um, and so I think you really need to help improve that defensive line. The game's won in the trenches, and Caleb Banks is an asset in the trenches for sure. I love Caleb Banks. So he is the pick to the Carolina Panthers there. They need linebacker as well, but I don't know if you take linebacker this high. I think it's a great linebacker class. You can get really good linebackers in the second and third round for sure. And now the Dallas Cowboys with their second pick of the first round. Um, and they took Mansour Lane. We are going to stick to the defensive side, and they're going to take Keldrick Falk. He falls down to pick 20. I'm a fan of Keldrick Falk, man. I really am. I think he is everything people wanted Shamar Stewart to be. He is that dominant run defender that Shamar Stewart was propped up to be, but turns out he's not actually that good at run defending. Keldrick Falk, however, is a dominant run defender with real pass rush upside. The guy's big, he's quick, he's athletic, he can bend around the edge, he's super strong, and he's showcased some good pass rush chops as an edge defender for Auburn. It's certainly not all there. That there's a reason why he's fallen down to pick 20. The pass rush just isn't there fully right now for Keldrick Falk, but I think it can be. And Dallas fans, I don't think you should be upset at this pick at all. He is a super solid high floor player who I think has the ability to develop a decent pass rush arsenal and be a number two pass rusher, but a really, really good edge defender. And it's not like you're taking this guy in the top 15, you're taking him down at pick 20 as well as taking Mansour Delane. So this defense really, if you take a linebacker in later in the third or fourth round and get a good linebacker, this defense is really not looking that bad after a really, really poor 2025 season for this defense. Keldrick Falk to the Dallas Cowboys, big fan of how their draft is shaken up. And now the Pittsburgh Steelers. Receiver has been a big pick here for the Steelers. You could go offensive line. Broderick Jones just looking like he's really not the guy. Aaron Rodgers' final season, though. And I'm not super high on Denzel Boston. I am on Casey Concepcion, but it seems like maybe people in the league don't see him as a true first round receiver. So I'm gonna make a pick that maybe not everybody's gonna be excited about, and it's gonna be quarterback. I'm taking Ty Simpson to the Pittsburgh Steelers. There was a lot of buzz, and I'm pretty sure in this exact pick about Shador Sanders last year. Shador Sanders obviously went way later in the draft to the Cleveland Browns, the division rival, and it's looking like it was a good idea that the Steelers did not take Shador Sanders with the 21st overall pick. Shador real bad um, first season, but Ty Simpson, he was not great to start the year, of course, Florida State game, but after the Florida State game, that middle of the year, he looked like a number one overall pick at quarterback. And then towards the end of the year, he really fell off. He really started struggling. The accuracy just completely fell off a cliff. But if you look at some of these games, I mean, the Wisconsin game, the Georgia game, the Missouri game, I mean, he's making incredible throws, incredible reads. Playing smart. He was playing on time. He read the middle of the field better than probably Fernando Mendoza. Um, and Ty Simpson, I think the end of the year is really kind of scary for him as a prospect, but I mean that middle of the year, I mean he looked incredible. He really did, and there were some injury issues with him at the end of the year apparently, which could have hindered him. I mean he sits behind Aaron Rodgers for probably one more season. I'm sure Ty Simpson he has the ability to be a franchise quarterback. Will he be? Who knows? He probably will not go in the first round, but hey, maybe there's a chance that he will. Ty Simpson at 21 to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They might have their franchise guy. Who knows? Maybe Aaron Rodgers can show him the ropes. We'll see. The Chargers at 22, you really need to improve that offensive line. But is there an O lineman you would pick here? Me personally, I would go Chase Basantis, but it seems like he's really not getting first round buzz. Pregnon is there. You don't really need tackle, and I don't think any of these tackles are really moving in to guard, except for maybe Jennings Dunker, but he's not a first round pick for sure. So I don't really know if there's a offensive lineman that I would take here. But on the other side, in the other trenches, you do need um, some help, and I'm going to take Lee Hunter, a Senior Bowl standout, and he's been getting a lot of buzz, first round buzz. Lee Hunter, high potential player, high floor player. He will be a good player for this Chargers defense. And yes, I know you need to take offensive line. That interior was abysmal for Justin Herbert, and it also didn't help that he lost both of his starting tackles for the year. I mean, Zion Johnson and Mekhi Becton, wow, really bad year for them, as well as Bradley Bozeman, I think, who was the center. Uh, just really bad year for that interior offensive line. Who knows what they do in free agency? So I think here you don't force the offensive line pick. I think you take Lee Hunter. And now the Philadelphia Eagles. You got some free agents. You could take Avion Terrell. You could use a third corner. Colton Hood is an option here. But Dallas Goddard is a free agent. And you know who's here is Kenyon Sadiq, a really, really athletic tight end. You get him all the way down at 23. I think that's fine value for Kenyon Sadiq. I'm not as high on Kenyon Sadiq as a lot of people are, but he has a lot of potential as a receiver. And I know Jalen Hurts loved throwing to Dallas Goedert, so why not let Goddard go, get younger at the position? Kenyon Sadiq, a really, really good receiving tight end, who I don't think is all the way there. I think he could improve maybe as a route runner, and maybe his hands could improve a little more. He's made some really good catches over the years, though. And he's a okay blocker. I think his blocking ability is a little overrated. I don't really like him against D linemen, but against linebackers and secondary players, he's certainly just fine. He's a little undersized, but he's more of a receiving tight end. And with AJ Brown possibly departing, Dallas Goedert a free agent, I think Kenyon Sadiq is a fine pick there to help out that receiving group for the Philadelphia Eagles. So 24, the Cleveland Browns, they took Carnell Tate earlier. They are going to stick on the offensive side of the ball, and they are going to look at that terrible, terrible, terrible offensive line, and they are going to go with a new left tackle. And is it going to be Frilling or Lomu? I'm going to take Caleb Lomu here for the Cleveland Browns. They need offensive line badly. I mean, they're losing a lot of guys to free agency, and their offensive line, just as it stands, is not very good, especially the tackle positions. Caleb Lomu can it is not all there yet. There's a little bit of projection with Lomu, but he's a solid pass protector. He's not a great run blocker, but as long as he can pass protect relatively well, I think you've got a pretty good left tackle of the future there for Cleveland. So you get a new number one receiver, you get a new left tackle, and so now you got some pieces on that offense for whoever you decide your quarterback to be. Maybe you roll Shador again, maybe you go out sign Malik Willis or something. We'll see what the Browns decide to do. They might just be in position to take a uh, quarterback next year. Who knows what this defense is going to look like without Jim Schwartz? Maybe it falls off. We'll see. But not really a quarterback to take here. So they go with an offensive lineman to improve that abysmal O-line in Caleb Lomu. Chicago Bears at pick 25. What a year it was for the Chicago Bears. Almost reaching the NFC Conference Championship. I'm sure they would have gotten lit up by the Seahawks, but didn't happen. So the Bears definitely need to improve on the defensive side. I think offensively, I think they're good. I don't really think they need to improve much on the offensive side of the ball. But they definitely need help off the edge at D-line, at linebacker. I mean, TJ Edwards is great, just can't seem to stay healthy, and Tremaine Edmonds is getting old, not as good as he was. You're losing a lot of players in your secondary. You're losing Brisker. You're losing Byard potentially. Yeah, I mean, safety's a big need. Emmanuel McNeil Warren could be a pick here, but we'll see about that. But I think the linebacker group and D line group are big. Caden McDonald could be an option here. TJ Parker to pair alongside Montez Sweat could be an option. Not super high on TJ Parker, but I am going to have them going CJ Allen. Um, I mean, the linebacking group last year was just so injured. Tremaine Edmonds and TJ Edwards just could not stay on the field. There's a lot of talk about them cutting Tremaine Edmonds, in which case there would be a big hole at linebacker. You have Noah Sewell, who was fine when he stepped in, but CJ Allen is a very good linebacker prospect. I think he's more of a second rounder, but at the back end of the first in this draft class, this is fine. This is fine value for CJ Allen. He is a hard hitter, a sure tackler. He's really smart, and I think he can take over that TJ Edwards role whenever Edwards maybe departs or is hurt. Edwards obviously getting a little old, and he just cannot stay healthy. So CJ Allen, I think, is a really smart player, can command that defense, and I think he will be a super solid player for the Chicago Bears. And he could have been the pick here at 26 to the Bills had the Bears maybe gone a different direction. But for the Bills, you got a lot of pending free agents on that defensive side of the ball. And of course, the big elephant in the room, you need a receiver. Cookies is he's not it. All right, Keon Coleman. I did not like the pick at the time. I thought he was a third round receiver. They took him with a borderline first round pick, first pick of the second round. And he's been everything I thought he was. He couldn't separate, and the hands are even worse than I expected. But So, do you really want to take Denzel Boston, a similar receiver? I do think Denzel Boston is a better receiver than Keon Coleman as a prospect, absolutely. I think he's a better route runner. I don't think Denzel Boston is a very great route runner, however. He's a similar kind of player. You have Casey Concepcion. The issue is, I think Concepcion is just a little too similar to Khalil Shakir. He's that solid, dependable, quick, agile, run after catch guy. I think Concepcion has more downfield ability. I think he's a bit better of an athlete. But I think maybe with how the talks about Brandon Beane, how the front office is giving him the ability to go be aggressive for receiver this year, I think they make a move either in free agency or just trade up in this draft to maybe the teens to try and get one of these receivers who fall, whether it be Tate, Tyson, or Lemon. Um, Josh Allen needs a receiver. I just don't think there's a really good one to be the pick here for the Buffalo Bills. Joey Bosa is a free agent. I think you really need to improve that linebacking core. I think the Bears took the linebacker that I would take here for the Bills, so I'm going to move to that edge position. It doesn't look like Joey Bosa is going to be back. He was a solid player, better than I thought he would be for the Bills off the edge, and so I'm going to take TJ Parker here to put alongside Greg Rousseau. Parker had a great 2024, not a great 2025. I was lower on him coming into the year for sure. I thought he was more of a second round edge rusher coming into the year. Well, a lot of people thought he was a top five pick. I did not. He comes in and plays like a second round pick. He dominated the Senior Bowl, however, and he's got a lot of power. He's got a lot of potential to be a real good three down pass rusher. He's a solid run defender as well, and we know Brandon Beane loves his run defending defensive ends. He's got that pass rush upside as well. I don't know if he's all there yet, but TJ Parker to replace Joey Bosa, I think is a fine pick for the Buffalo Bills. And I think you got to make a move for a receiver earlier than the 26th pick because I don't think the receivers here are really going to be ideal for the Buffalo Bills. So moving on to the San Francisco 49ers. This, however, is going to be a wide receiver, and it's going to be Denzel Boston. A bit less of the Kyle Shanahan type receiver. You look more of Casey Concepcion as that kind of receiver. But for the 49ers, Jauan Jennings is a pending free agent. It looks like he's going to be leaving the team. Um, you need help on that defensive line still. I believe you lose Robert Saleh, unfortunately, again to the Tennessee Titans. Um, he did wonders for this defense last year, and I just don't know if there's an edge rusher I would take here or a defensive lineman. Caden McDonald's certainly an option, but both your edge rushers last year got hurt, Nick Bosa and Michael Williams. So I think getting both those guys back, I'm sure your pass defense will be fine, and we know Michael Williams can defend the run relatively well. So I'm going to take Denzel Boston. You're going to need receiver. Ricky Pearsall, Brandon Ayuk's going to be gone. Okay, Brandon Ayuk is gone. Jauan Jennings is most likely going to be gone. Um, and all outside of that, all you have is Ricky Pearsall and Demarcus Robinson, and that's just not going to do it. And I think Denzel Boston is a nice change of pace from these receivers. I think he's going to be an excellent Jauan Jennings replacement. I think Boston's more of a second round guy, but again, if you have a need and there's a player that who can relatively fill that need, I think you got to take him, especially in this draft class. This is a weaker class, and Boston at 27 is not the worst value in the world. I think he could pair pretty well with Ricky Pearsall. I think Pearsall is a really good route runner, just needs to stay on the field. But when he is on the field, really, really good player. But Denzel Boston going to be that solid, dependable option for Brock Purdy. He can go up and get it, and he's not a terrible route runner like Keon Coleman. He can get open. So Denzel Boston is the pick to the San Francisco 49ers. And now the Houston Texans. Talk about needing offensive line. You need offensive line. CJ Stroud really collapsed in that playoff game, unfortunately. But you have a good receiving core. You have one of the best defenses in the NFL. The biggest weakness on this team is this offensive line. It is terrible. And so they're going to take Monroe Freeling to finally get their left tackle after they traded away Laramie Tunsil. Monroe Freeling is a player that I'm not the highest on. I probably need to get more tape on Monroe Freeling, look at some of his later games in the year. Um, but He's a first round pick to the Houston Texans here. They need a left tackle for sure. Ariata Arasuri was not a good player for them last year. And so I'm going to take Freeling to be their left tackle, and maybe Arasuri can slide somewhere else along the offensive line. He wasn't terrible, but he just was not. He's not left tackle, starting left tackle level, at least not in his rookie year. So now the Rams had their second pick of the first round here. And I mean, the player that you could have taken all the way up at 13 is still here. I don't think I would have taken him all the way up at 13. Avion Terrell is going to be the pick. They have lots of pending free agents at that corner spot, losing, I believe, Kobe Durant, Kello Witherspoon, um, and Emmanuel Forbes was really good at the beginning of the year, middle of the year. He was really surprising, and then he fell back down to earth. And he became Emmanuel Forbes yet again. Avion Terrell can play inside or outside for this team. I think he's a super solid prospect. I would not really want to take him much higher than maybe pick 22 if I was for his ideal range for me. But Avion Terrell could be a pretty good player. Was a good player for Clemson this past year, despite their shortcomings as a team overall. So Avion Terrell to the Rams. I mean, they need corner. He is a corner who plays really pretty well, and that's good enough for the 29th pick in the draft for sure. And then the Denver Broncos, I struggled with this pick a lot, because I don't think for the team needs, I don't know if there's great players for this team to take. They are losing PJ Locke in free agency, Alex Singleton in free agency. J.K. Dobbins is a free agent coming off his year. I think they need running back. They don't. I'm not the biggest fan of R.J. Harvey, but there's definitely not a running back worth taking with the 30th overall pick. Emmanuel McNeil Warren, I toyed with a little bit in my head. Casey Concepcion, I just think, which I think Sean Payton, I think, is fine with where their receiving core is at the moment. I think he likes their guys, even though for me, I would certainly like to get better at the receiving spot. Um, I think Sean Payton trusts his guys in his mind, and I always come back to linebacker, and I'm going to end up reaching a little bit. I'm going to take Anthony Hill. I think Anthony Hill is a second round linebacker prospect. I really do. But I mean, there's a lot of athletic potential for Anthony Hill, man. I I mean, the upside with him is incredible. And this is a bit of a reach in my opinion, but it's really the only pick that makes sense in my opinion, and you pair him alongside Drake Greenlaw. You try and keep this defense as good as it can be. Alex Singleton was not the best for them last year, kind of showed his age a little bit. So Anthony Hill getting younger at that linebacker spot, I think he is certainly going to be a very good player in the NFL. He has a lot of potential. He's a lower floor as a linebacker, but the ceiling for him is incredible. And we know with linebackers, you just kind of take the guys with the best traits and develop them over time. And I think Anthony Hill can be one of those guys who, maybe not in year one or year two, but year three and four, this guy could be a force at linebacker. And now the New England Patriots at pick 31. Man, Will Campbell, not a great rookie year. I don't think Will Campbell is a bad left tackle, though. I think I think there are plenty of people who do think he is a bad left tackle. I don't think he is a bad left tackle at all. I think he is at this moment. I don't think he is a good left tackle at all. I'm certainly not there with him. I don't think he is a good left tackle. I think he's okay. He takes his losses. I mean, he faced a really, really good Seahawks pass rush that I mean, predictably struggled immensely with, and he's going to have to improve next year if he wants to remain a starting left tackle in this league. I'm not there yet to where I would be kicking him inside to guard. I think I would let him fail one more year at left tackle. I came into last year's draft thinking he's a guard. I still think he is at guard. He would be better, but you know, again, teams left tackle is so valuable. I think you still have to try and develop him there and see if he can become your left tackle in the future. Because if not, all you got to do is slide him into guard. I think you have a really, really good guard, in my opinion. But I am going to just go with best player available here, and I'm going to take Casey Concepcion. at wide receiver for the New England Patriots. There were at times in this playoff, I know Drake May played really, really bad in these playoffs, and I'm not excusing Drake May, but there are a lot of times when they played these really good defenses who played a lot of man coverage, and these receivers are just not getting open. These receivers are not getting open. Kayshon Boutte is a fine number two, but he's not that good of a route runner. You have Mac Hollins. Stephon Diggs is getting up there in age. Casey Concepcion can separate. He is a good deep threat down the field. I think you pair him and Kyle Williams up, you can really have some nice deep shots with Drake May's really, really good deep ball. And I think him and Concepcion can form a really, really good tandem at receiver and quarterback. I think this is a steal of a pick for the Patriots. I have a true first round grade in Concepcion at the moment. I think he's super shifty. You can get him on these screens. You can get him on these crossers, on these goes. He's a threat at all levels of the field. He's fast. He's a good separator. He's got relatively solid hands. He makes some good catches. He's got some drop issues. But yeah. And then the Seattle Seahawks here. Their defense, I mean, the dark side is their new nickname, played incredible throughout the playoffs, except with the exception of the Rams game, but they were playing the MVP in that game. Um, Defense played incredible throughout the playoffs. Why don't we improve it even more? Colton Hood is the selection here to the Seattle Seahawks at 32. Tariq Woolen might be on his way out, and then you have Josh Jobe, who is a little inconsistent at that third corner spot for sure. But you have Devon Witherspoon, you have Mike McDonald. Colton Hood, I'm not the highest on, but he has been getting a lot of first round buzz, so I definitely had to get him into this first round mock draft. So that'll conclude my first round mock draft post Super Bowl of this NFL draft season. We are full swing in draft season, everybody. So be sure to like and subscribe for more NFL draft content and let me know what you thought of your picks for your teams in the comments below. And yeah, thank you all for watching. This is the first round mock draft if you want to take a look at it. But thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.